Vandalism is on the rise as houses of worship are targeted by activists. Since May 2020, there have been at least 278 attacks reported against Catholic churches, with more than 120 of those incidents taking place after the Supreme Court draft leak of last year. Fox News contributor Raymond Arroyo joins us now to react. Good morning to you, Raymond.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. What's your reaction and why is this happening?
Well, I think it started with Dobbs, as you mentioned there. And the other part of it is pop culture. You know, you have a combination here of people being motivated by a diminishment of holy images, holy people, the doctrines of basic Christian teaching. All of that has been diminished in the pop culture. I mean, I just saw a cover of a Vanity Fair with Madonna on it, impersonating Our Lady of Sorrows. So the pop culture treats the Mother of God like a cheap pop singer, and we treat a cheap pop singer like the Mother of God. This is a problem. And what it teaches us subtly, in small ways and large ways, is that these holy images, these places of worship, things we revere or were once held as sacred, are no longer so. And then you couple that with a political establishment saying this church, these churches are standing in the way of progressive politics and your freedoms, particularly the autonomy over your body, abortion, that becomes a toxic brew, and I think that's what we're seeing here. I mean, I just read a story, Ainsley, a man just a week ago in Woodbury, New Jersey. He attacked 3 Catholic churches, one after another, tried to burn a cross, broke windows. I mean, there is something odd that is happening here, a phenomena that's not being reported, and I think it's a combination of people who believe it's correct to desecrate and defile houses of worship as a means of political protest. That is not acceptable and can't be acceptable in our republic.
Yeah, we're talking about arson, broken windows, decapitated statues. Kamala Harris, our vice president, tweeted this out. You can keep your faith and still support abortion. What do you say to that?
Well, you know, Ainsley, she also tweeted out just yesterday that this other movement, the pro-life movement, is run by extremist so-called leaders. Now, that's toxic language. And this is what I'm saying. It's a perfect storm in many ways. Last year, we had 240 FBI hate crimes that were religiously motivated. And I worry that this hot political rhetoric and labeling faithful Christian people, ministers, pastors, rabbis, and priests as somehow extremist leaders, that is a problem and should be decried from both right and left. It's not right. If you disagree on policy, but you don't demonize people who believe deeply and faithfully in the gospel as has been passed down to us for generations, that somehow those are extremist beliefs. Argue on the facts and the merits. Stop demonizing people. It leads to very bad ends here, Ainsley, as we see.
We showed some pictures of the diocese in El Paso, and it's hard to see a house of worship. It's God's house, completely vandalized.
Right.
You mentioned Madonna on the front cover of Vanity Fair. It's an article about raising 6 children, balancing her career and balancing her life, and the 40th anniversary tour. Here's a picture of it depicting the Virgin Mary, and there's some images of her at the Last Supper. There is a tweet, one person's in favor of it. God is a woman, her name is Madonna, but others say it's blasphemous. Thank you so much for coming on with us, Raymond. And I watched you and Laura last night. I saw you riding the horse. It is true. You are a cowboy. Thank you.
All right, come riding with me sometime.
I would love to, down in New Orleans.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Raymond.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.